Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, something new is filling up at Wilson Park. We'll take you there for a first look. Plus, a legendary astronaut visits with fans at the Torrance Library. And Luke Walton of the LA Lakers stops in town for the annual camp escapades. We'll take you there. Then you won't want to miss the South Bay Kennel Club's dog show at North High. Amy Lopez of Canine Corner was there to tell us all about it. These stories and much more are just seconds away. Your local news starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun. Ben McCain has the week off. Torrance teachers and school district administrators are hopeful there may be some relief coming their way. The House of Representatives passed and signed into law a new economic stimulus package known as the Jobs Bill. This legislation is specifically intended for school districts throughout the country to either rehire laid-off teachers or prevent further teacher layoff. California is wasting no time getting its application to the U.S. Department of Education. The governor has already signed and delivered the state's application, expecting to receive $1.2 billion. That money will help save or create approximately 16,500 K-12 teaching jobs. Torrance Unified does not know yet how much they will receive. Well, great teachers go hand in hand with great students, so it's no surprise Torrance test scores are on the up and up. The Standardized Testing and Reporting Program, also referred to as STAR, released figures this week showing a slew of scores measuring the percentage of students who are on par with the state set standards. Torrance Unified boosted proficiency by 1.5 points in English to about 70% and by 2 points in math to 60%. Here in the South Bay, Hermosa and Manhattan Beach school districts scored the highest, while Lawndale and Hawthorne school districts showed most improved. This marks the 8th consecutive year scores have risen incrementally statewide. Assemblyman Ted Lieu's efforts may pay off for family members of the National Guard and reservists. Under current law, a service member who is deployed has the right to certain protections, such as a mortgage deferment or a reduction in interest due to financial hardship. But when banks or other institutions deny this request, the service member could face possibilities of default on their home, repossession of their car, or hurt their credit rating. Assembly Bill 2365 would authorize service members to recover actual damages, reasonable attorney's fees, and costs from anyone who violates these rights. The State Assembly passed the bill and is now headed to seek the governor's approval. Well, this week's City Council meeting was a short one that included the appointment of the 2010 to 2011 youth council members. From a pool of 40 applicants, 18 students were selected to help advise and make recommendations to the Torrance City Council and city staff on matters concerning the youth. The group is comprised of students from all Torrance high schools, 12 of which are new members and 6 returning students. Students were officially sworn in by the city clerk. The highly anticipated Wilson Park Pond will soon be open to the public again. Workers began the last phase of the pond renovations, filling it with 125,000 gallons of water. The water source will also be used for irrigation purposes throughout the park. The newly chlorinated pond is expected to be cleaned approximately 2 to 3 times per year.
I know it's been a long time coming, but we did it right this time, and it's going to be for years of enjoyment. It's for the people here in the city of Torrance.
During the renovation process, nearly 450 fish, 64 turtles, and a handful of domestic ducks had to be relocated. The pond is expected to be fully functional by the end of the week, just in time for Torrance Symphony's concert in the park. Now in its 37th year, the Torrance Sister City Association welcomed 8 students and 1 adult leader from Kashiwa, Japan. During their 3-week visit, exchange students will stay with host families in Torrance. One of their first excursions included a tour of various city departments, including the police department and fire station, Torrance Art Museum, and the farmers market. Their last scheduled event is the Sayonara Banquet, which is almost always filled with tears. The exchange students return to Kashiwa on August 25th. The Sister Cities program was started by President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1956 to foster world peace through people-to-people contacts. Torrance and the city of Kashiwa in Japan became sister cities on February 20th, 1973. For complete coverage of all the Kashiwa events, tune into Spotlight Torrance with Alexis Sita every day at 1:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. A legend in the helicopter industry is getting ready to pass the torch on to his son to continue the legacy he's created not only in Torrance but worldwide. Frank Robinson, the founder of Robinson Helicopter Company, is officially retiring at the age of 80. The company is being taken over by a man who has seen Frank's dream since day one. Our reporter CitiCABLE has this story.
Robinson Helicopter began with a dream in 1973. Frank Robinson wanted to give civilians the chance to fly their very own helicopter.
He, took that big giant step and quit his job and designed it out of our living room when I was in high school.
Kurt Robinson has watched his father since he was a kid. Today the company employs about 1,000 people and he has officially been handed the reins.
It's exciting. It's challenging. It's that old careful what you wish for. I don't underestimate the magnitude of what needs to be done at times,
He plans to follow his father's vision, building the most affordable, most reliable helicopters they can. That includes releasing the company's newest model, the R66. Robinson says it's their version of the family station wagon.
We see just a huge market out there for it, an opportunity. And I know over the next 4 or 5 years, we will be adding to the 66. You start adding floats, you have a news copter, you have a police copter, you have all these variations of it, and you start looking out there what the industry does.
The R66 has been in the making for 7 years and will be released in September. Robinson knows that this time it's his turn to execute, and the employees feel pretty good about the job he's going to do.
I think Kurt's going to take the reins and be able to handle it well. We're all hoping for the best, worldwide as well.
It's actually going to be a pretty smooth transition because he knows exactly how the company runs and he knows all the managers and how we function as a group.
When I start talking about the head of our engineering or the CFO or the marketing, production, all those people, they're just wonderful people, and I've worked with them forever, so that it makes it a lot easier.
Even with the long road ahead, Robinson humbly admits that his responsibility is to the employees, dealers, service centers, and all 9,000 helicopters that Robinson has made.
And it's to look out at this industry, and there isn't a whole lot of players out there, and it's to look at the areas where we can improve on it and we can supply it.
Following in a parent's footstep is no easy task, but for Kurt Robinson, he said that learning from a man whose dedication and strong belief in his product makes it all worthwhile. This is CitiCABLE reporting for CitiCABLE 3.
Thanks, Christy. The company currently exports 70% of its product internationally. They were visited by former President Bush and Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2008 to be recognized for their strength in free trade and international sales. Well, still straight ahead, fans were treated to a unique experience at the Katie Geiser Civic Center Library. Plus, a Lakers superstar was in town for an annual camp you won't want to miss. Now here's a look at the current temperature outside.